it's usually it's a phone call, and it's a wonderful feeling. It's like it's almost like finding out this. I don't know if this sounds weird. It's almost like finding out good news from like a doctor. Which sounds so negative, like you went in for a checkup for something that you were worried about, and then you find out that it was good, and you're like, oh, great. It's almost like validating your choices. So like when you get something, it makes you feel like you can do this. It makes you feel like your decision to pursue this has all been worth it. Even if it's a smaller thing, it's just like, and it lasts for like the day or something, but then you have to focus on actually doing the work. And I know it's a negative way to look at it, like you're waiting to hear on bad or good news, but I think, especially early on when I would look at auditions kind of like as mountains to climb and not as just, part of your job, as these sort of like insurmountable things, I would get nervous and I would do it, and so getting a callback or getting the gig feels like, oh, I just overcame this thing. So it does kind of feel like a doctor saying, you're fine. It's like someone saying, "Hey, you're an actor. You did it. You're good." So that's kind of the feeling. It feels really good.
Okay, so I had booked a show at a theater, and very excited. It was actually my first audition for that particular theater, and I booked it, and I was elated. I was like, "Yes, all right." And the next day, I accepted it. The next day, I walked into my agency. And as I walked into the agency, all the girls stood up and went, "Ta-ta-ma!" And the intern that was sitting there was like, who is he? Because, I'm nobody. And but they're all excited. And I'm going, what? And they go, you booked it. And I go, what did I book? You're going to the Olympics? And I go, huh? Well, this was December. And in August, I had auditioned to do this industrial thing for Dow Chemical out at the Salt Lake City, the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. And I'm sorry, but 3 days after you've done an audition, if you haven't heard anything, you just forget about it. I didn't even remember auditioning. And so it was a whole lot of money. And the theater I had booked was non-equity, and you weren't getting paid, and so I had to turn them down. So, when you book it, it just feels good. I don't know how else to express it. It just feels good every time.
It feels really great. It's like if you're not an actor, you go in for an interview. Auditions are interviews. You feel like you really want a job or you really need it, and they tell you that you've got it. It's that feeling of accomplishment, of affirmation, and happiness. And they're often like a long string of not getting the jobs before the I got the job feeling. So it's all of that pent up, and it's a really, really, really good feeling.
What it feels like when you get the job. So I've been really blessed lately. I've been getting some kind of big stuff. And I'm a girl, so I cry, is what I do. And I remember this Richard Linklater film. My agent calls me, and agents are really funny. Mine is, I'll say that, because they only call me when I book stuff. If it's a callback, a check avail, something like that, it's usually via email. It's rare that they call me for something other than a booking. So, but again, when you audition for something, you really got to forget about it. You can't spend your day and your hours, did I get it, or you will run yourself crazy. So I had pushed it to the back of my mind. I didn't know when they were going to make, decisions, so I just can't keep thinking about that. So my agent called. I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, hey. And they're like, hey, you booked it! And so I start screaming. I mean, literally screaming. And I'm crying. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm just going crazy. And I know I screamed in their ear. And then she starts giving me specifics about the gig. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm still processing. And she was like, okay, call me back. excited. So it is, I don't even know how to explain it. It is the biggest high. So let's just say acting is our drug, then booking it is the high, for lack of a better word. It is the biggest high.
Probably the most excited that I was after receiving like a phone call was when I was put on the house team at Second City. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't expect it at all. It was just, I got a call back, and then I went into that, and then came home, and then, I got a call, and it was a voicemail from Stephanie Case, who works there, and she just left a message like, call back. And in my head, I'm like, I analyzed everything, because I called back and they didn't answer, and I was like, I didn't get it. It's too late. Like, I tried. They called me and that was it. Or they called me and to tell me no, and I'm like, but why would they call me and talk, or what? They wouldn't call me. That's what. Yeah, sorry, there's something fluffy floating in there. Anyway, all of that to say, I was just super excited, and I cried, and I was like, this is great. Sorry. Yeah, that's it.